So this episode right here, it is about spend, save, or invest. Last week, I sat down and I watched an interview with Suze Orman, the host of Money and Women podcast, or Women and Money podcast, forgive me, I'm not sure which one. And also got to read an article from Clark Howard, which you can go to clark.com and also see this article. And basically, the title of the article was "Let Your Spending Become Your Investing." We're going to go over some options that I really more so lean towards his way, but I'm also going to give Suze's input because, again, these people are considered financial gurus. I myself am not a financial guru yet, but well on the way. However, going on with this process, you have to look at what's going to be best for you. Again, we strive to say that here on Financial Fitness because that is essentially important. Everybody's financial situation is different. Everybody's financial holdings are different. And we are all in a different process of things that are going. So with that being said, getting started with the Suze Orman article, she said, we all know the stimulus check just came in. All right. And many of us are still in the process of receiving them if we didn't get them sent to us direct deposit. Some of us are getting checks. Some of us had to find other ways or means. And also in this process, that taxes are occurring. That taxes are occurring. Thank you, Greg. Hey, so as this process is happening, do you spend, do you save, or do you invest? I'm going to throw my personal opinion in after I explain the Suze Orman and Clark Howard point of views and really just give you a good synopsis and basis of things that are going to be best for you financially if you're in a different situation. Now, if your $1,400 need to go strictly to spending, and what I mean, that could be paying off debt, paying off bills, things like that, paying household essentials, paying your mortgage. Yes, nobody needs to go ahead and tell you to do that. That is extremely important. Now, if you're under a moratorium, they can't kick you out and, you may owe things like that. This money should be saved for emergency purposes. And if you didn't need this money, then this is where I think this could be beneficial for you as we go on. Suze Orman was on Yahoo Finance with Andy Swearer. She was it's called Influencers on the show. If anyone ever wants to go and watch it on Yahoo Finance, it's usually in the afternoons or at 4 o'clock in the morning when I usually get up. So what was basically the basis of the interview? She suggested people who are getting their stimulus check to pay the minimum balance on their credit card.
But she didn't always feel like that though, right?
In the beginning, again, everybody was save more, spend less, especially Clark Howard. And now his opinion and view, I won't say changed. They just shifted. And it's interesting to see how after this pandemic, it's come from a save more to back how it is now.
But why do you think they did that though? Why do you think they turned on a dime like that?
I think it's the way the central banks are going. I think it's the way banks are going. Honestly, your incentive is to save, but you only get the national average saving rate is below 0.04%. 0.04%. That is
no money.
No money. Now, the highest national rate I was actually looking at today, Ally Bank, have the pleasure of having them for my investment in savings, is 0.50%, 0.5%. 0.5% to save your money.
So I'm going to give you a hard time. I want to know why you say you have the pleasure of having Ally Bank. Is there certain standards that you have to meet to get Ally Bank?
None. It's completely online, and I love it. I've been satisfied with them ever since. I love that bank.
Okay.
I don't have a checking account with them, just investing in savings. That's where I do that, because there's a skit with Kevin Hart, if anybody's ever seen it. It takes 3 business days to get your money.
Mm-hmm. I saw it.
Yeah, but that's the reason for that.
So it doesn't take 3 days to get your money with them?
If you sell it, it takes a little while for the funds to clear. It takes about 2 days if you sell a stock, it takes 2 days for the funds to clear. Savings transfer will be immediate because it's ACH link to link, but the funds have to settle after a sale in the stock market or when you transfer money, it's immediate for me now. They give me the credit and then they draft me 2 days later.
Oh, now you know what? I'm going to tell you who does that for me is, of course, Robinhood kind of does. They give me that.
Robinhood, same way. It's instant for everybody, up to 1,000.
Right. But get this. Let me ask you, did you see, I learned something about OTC, over-the-counter stock. Didn't know it. I learned that this past week because a buddy of mine gave me 2 stock tips. And he said, he told me that now they're trying to, over-the-counter stock, you can't monitor. You have to monitor yourself. It's not like there was 2 stocks that he told me to look at that wasn't on Robinhood, so I couldn't find them. I had to go to Ameritrade and I found them.
Yes,
Ameritrade does monitor some over the counter stock.
Yes,
but I heard that it seems like they're trying to do away with day traders. They don't want the day traders to continue to do, because that's one thing they're trying to do. And then the over the counter stock, the problem I think they're having is that, like, okay, without getting into a long stock conversation with you, I understand that they're taking, like, if this company was traded on the stock market,
yeah,
and we don't have 20 shares of stock,
yeah,
we don't have to promote that. They have to keep up with what the company is doing. But let's just say the stock is 10 cents a share, and you own $150,000 worth of stock, $150,000, you could actually have all the stock and people not know it because it's based on the volume. But if you can't keep up with over-the-counter stock, like they monitor it, like with our Robinhood account, it shows you the volume and the value of how many shares. But when you buy over-the-counter, you have to monitor it yourself.
That is interesting. So yeah, there are some penny stocks that aren't available on all platforms.
Yeah,
there are only platforms that have stocks that are available in certain waves and certain grows. I have noticed that. I have seen that. So I'm not too knowledgeable on the over-the-counter stock, but I have noticed. Yeah. And I think, again, another avenue for spending your money, sending your money, and things like that. So where the article was going for Susie, she was saying to pay the minimum on the credit card, not to invest in volatile stocks like GameStop and AMC, which you've seen a lot of people do over the time, because it is a bit of a risk. Now, again, that's how you make it. If you have the means to lose it, then by all means. However, I found it interesting that she said to pay the minimum on your credit card, even though you accrue interest. Yet the whole portion of how they got started was to save money and spend less. Now, the incentive that they're preaching is to spend more or put an emergency fund away. She's still saying put it in an emergency fund if you can. 8 months is what she suggested before the pandemic, but now with the pandemic, she suggested 12. Now, some people's situations are going to be different. You're going to find a lot of different aspects as to what's going to be best for your money. Now on to Clark Howard. And this is where I get a little excited right here. I've got to pull up my phone for his. Now, Clark Howard, this article was called Let Your Spending Become Your Investing. So you take your credit card, a credit card with these institutions that I'm going to announce on here. And I really love the aspect of where he went with it. However, again, Clark Howard started off in the radio in 1989 here in Atlanta talking about save more, spend less.
He sure did.
Again, this is this interesting thing that these people are having this shift, if you will, as you called it, as to how it is best performed. So he gave these options in this article, and you can find it in the Atlanta Journal-Constitute or at clark.com. We'll make sure we post that in the show notes for the podcast. And if anyone's interested, by all means, they can go to our podcast, my podcast, and see that and go from there. So the first card was the Fidelity's Reward credit card, the Visa Signature. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on all purchases can be deposited into your account of choice, such as your brokerage or retirement account. Now, the perks with these credit cards is to open a brokerage account. Now, if you only spend $100 a month on a credit card, 2% cash back is only going to be $2. Investing is a long-term game. Now, if $2 a month or however purchase, things like that, you have to weigh that option. But hold on, there is more. And there's my favorite one I have yet to mention on here. Citi Double Cash. You get unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase you make. 1% when you buy and 1% when you pay your bill. That's interesting take. Now you're getting cash back for paying your bill. So it kind of helps. That one does help a little bit, and it makes it a little bit easier. Moving down to the Schwab Investor Card from American Express. This card offers unlimited 1.5% cash back on all purchases, which can automatically be deposited into your Schwab investment account. So that goes, just like Fidelity, into your account if you open up one with. And I strongly recommend you opening an investing account so this money just goes. And even if you just sit it in the holding account, short-term, long-term, however it works, if you do make those purchases, there is the benefit of the cash back. Moving on down the list, TD Ameritrade, the client rewards card. You get 1.5% cash back on all purchases with a 10% bonus on your cash back earnings if you have them deposited in a TD Ameritrade investment account. That's the best one.
Yeah, but they double dipping.
Now, you have to see the terms and conditions. I think there's still a little bit options, but again, Clark Howard is posting this, or sharing this, so it's got to be some information that's pretty good for you. 1.5% cash back on all purchases, and you really want a credit card that gets you cash back on all of your purchase, not just travel or dining. You want something every time, because we don't all travel or dine, especially right now in this time. 2020 has really changed the perspective. Now we're in 2021, and you have to consider how to move forward. And we're just about to be in the 4th month. Moving on, the Morgan Stanley credit card from American Express. Earn points for deposits by Morgan Stanley to your qualifying brokerage account at a rate of $1 per 100 points. And finally, wrapping up with the last two, Bank of America Premium Rewards Card. Earn unlimited 2 points per $1 spent on dining and travel purchases, and 1.5 points per $1 spent on other purchases. Now, they go from 1.5 points to dollars. That's something you want to look at as well on the things you spent. And then finally, the You Promise MasterCard from Barclays, 1.25% cash back with the ability to earn 15% bonus by linking to an eligible 529 college savings plan. So parents, that's something that I think and highly recommend if college is something that you want to go ahead and create for your child. A savings account, a 529 college savings plan. Clark recommends that you seek a 2% cash back return on your credit card purchases and then invest those rewards into a no or low fee vehicle for your desired investment goal. Now, again, that 2%, if you're spending if your credit card monthly spending is higher on certain things that you do, then that 2% makes more sense, right? If you spend $500 on your a month on your credit card, then 2% of that's $10 a month. $10 a month, $120 at the end of the year. At the end of the year, I take that from my investment account and I go purchase shares of smaller stocks, small caps, things like that, or I buy something to put it in, whether it go for my retirement or it go to the investing aspect. So you can get started investing without using your money. Right. Now, here's where I'm going to come in and give my opinion of what I recommend of what's best on this spend, save, and invest. Okay. Now, the credit card option, right? If your balances I always recommend to my clients when I'm in the bank myself, 30% is the max that your card needs to be at. Now, situations happens where it's going to occur that emergencies, you have to go over that. And that risk is going to happen. Now, your plan of action after you get that to pay off is something you'll need to figure out and do from there. However, if you're using your credit card, for myself, gas, groceries, some dinings, I don't eat out a lot, or friends or family can't do as much now. But at that time when that was an option, I was earning cash back rewards very early on and getting cash back for purchases as well. Now, the same thing. If you have a monthly budget already that you've budgeted out, gas, groceries, bills, electric, anything that goes on there that you've already taken out of your budget, I recommend putting that on a credit card, in my personal opinion. Why? Because it's a revolving payment that you're already paying each month.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't take from the budget and think, I can go put this cash elsewhere. No, that cash pays down the credit card. That credit card is revolving. I don't have to think about my payments not overdrafting my account or not being made or the cash just going away. At the end of the day, cash is still king. Some people think credit is king. Your perspective, your finances, how it all derives and what works best for you.
Kings don't owe anybody any money.
They usually don't. And that's what I love about this long-term aspect of spend, save, invest. Now, the spend part, again, you can pay bills. If it's necessary for you to pay rent, if it's necessary for you to pay things right now, yes, pay those off. Get out of debt in a sense of right now. But back to Susie Orman, she already suggested paying the minimum on your credit card, even if you're already getting charged interest. Some situations happen to where you pay the minimum on your credit card and the interest will literally eat you up and take away that payment. But she said that's okay. But not to invest in volatile stocks like GameStop, AMC, things like that. again, I found it so interesting as to which route they're going. Then Clark Howard saying, let your spending become your investing.
I think they're trying to boost the economy, actually.
I think a lot of
telling them to do that.
It's interesting. It's interesting because, in a sense, there has to be pretty much you got to spend, you got to save, you got to invest. So
can I tell you the only out of all the cards, which is my favorite?
Yeah.
I like American Express because with American Express, when you spend money, you double dip and you saving money with these people.
Yeah.
And then you also getting money like for frequent flyer miles, things like that, especially if you use American Express. American Express has a lot of different perks.
Agreed. And looking at that article right now, like going back to it and just seeing what's the best options. Again, a TD Ameritrade card is just, that's tough to beat. The 10% bonus on your cash back. And again, you have to realize what's going to be the best for your financial situation. So as we look, in my personal opinion, as I'm about to get started with both of those, I think they're great articles. But at the end of the day, Susie Orman is worth $75 million, and we know Clark Howard is worth millions as well. Okay, their financial situation is not ours. However, if you're in a position right now to spend, save, or invest with the stimulus money coming in, my recommendation is to always invest, because the long term, yes, we don't know the short term aspect, but the long term of it is what's going to help you win. And when you win from a long term perspective, yes, emergencies are going to come in a short term. But even in the short term, some months are going to give you a better return on your money. Currently, right now, we all know the market is down. We know Secretary Janet Yellen and Jerome Powell, as the transition in power, as they give their testify on the economy and the situation that it's in. We look at how this is going to help us. Okay. Right. We know the market is down, so everybody's going to be in fear, but you're telling me to save money and you're only earning 0.5% on doing the right thing. Make sense?
Well, if enough people do it, because they're probably using their influence, like Susie Orman has people, Clark Howard has many, all these people are using, if all the influencers are encouraging people to do that, and if 20% of the people out of all of them did that, the economy would see a shift.
Yes. Yeah. And you're going to see a little bit of an influx right now as the stimulus money gets in. I think it was projected that, don't quote me on this, but I think 2.2 million of the stimulus money is expected to go back into the stock market. I think I read something on that. Did. And half of mine went to it as well. But I'm in the ability in which I'm able to do that. Right. Again, back to that spend, save, invest. If you're in the ability, I always do recommend having a savings of emergencies. But also what I think people should often consider is you have to put your money in I would recommend it in a stock like Nike or something that's recurrently making money at a slow pace, or a Vanguard money market account, and it will grow over time. Even in a shorter amount of time, you're going to earn more interest in a month over it, or over 6 months versus in your savings. So you have to look at it. Not every bit of investing is about seeing it go up or seeing it go up, seeing it go down, watching. Sometimes that money needs to sit there, just like in your savings. And over a shorter period of time, it's growing interest at a higher return than a normal savings. So you have to look at how it's all going to come down to your position, your investing. I think Susie Orman and Clark Howard, clearly, they have a great following. They've created they're financial gurus in a sense. However, you have to look at your financial situation and put yourself in your shoes of your finances. I recommend truly if you're able to invest, but do your research, do your homework, see what's going to be key, see what's going to be the best stocks to invest in if you true. And if you don't like to go into the stock market, which a lot of us don't, and a lot of us have that fear, that anxiety that they can't watch themselves lose money, that's okay. There are going to be funds that you cannot afford to lose, not even $1 off of it. However, it's the chance to make the most after either a short period of time or a long-term time. That's what the vehicle of investing is in the stock market, is usually for a long period of time. And you're going to see great returns on that if you continue to stay consistent. You continue to stay on on a disciplined plan and really make the most of it. Honestly, that's the best thing that I've seen come out of this. I think that spending is good in a sense, but pay down your debt, pay down the bills, pay them down. Cash is king. It's always important to have cash. I definitely believe it's always important to have it, to be able to access it. That's what I think. But I'd rather my cash be in a position of where it's growing, or if it's falling, usually it's growing, because I try to keep most of my investments in a safe account, except for there are times that I will take a little bit of a gamble and a little bit of a risk in another account, but I keep those separate. And that's my personal opinion. However, how you invest is how you invest. How you grow your money is how you grow your money. And guys, here on Financial Fitness, we're all about bettering you. It's a journey. Working out is a journey. It takes a while to get from starting to the point of I'm growing, I'm getting a little bit stronger, I'm getting a little bit more healthier in my finances, to okay, now I have it figured out. Again, that takes time. So if you're interested in those two articles, we're going to tag those on there. The Susie Orman was with Andy Schroer on Yahoo Finance. Sorry for the name mispronunciation, but it was on Yahoo Finance. Usually it's called Influencers with Andy Schroer on Yahoo Finance. I watch it at 4:00 in the morning, but it does come on in the afternoons, but I just get up at 4 a.m. So stuff like that. I read the Clark Howard interview or the article with the Atlanta Journal-Constitute. And guys, we want to back these things up with facts. So spend, save, or invest. It's your money, but your money has to work for you, and you have to look into options. And if you have questions, you have comments, you have things you want to say to us here on the Financial Fitness Network, guys, we're all for it. We want to educate you, but we also want to be able to be a resource for you as well, a tool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Old Fashioned Health Network. Keela's going to be back, official co-host. She's going to be back, and we look forward to coming back next week, guys, with more episodes on or more topics like the PPP, SBA, things like that. We had mentioned that in the one that didn't have any sound, but look at ways to, when you spend, am I paying off debt? How much am I paying it off? I need to save some of this money. I need to look at the aspect of keeping it and investing. Whether it's a short or long term, it's the greatest investment. It's the greatest vehicle for a long period of time. You just have to take the risk and the reward and appropriate them properly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Financial Fitness. I'm your host, Jared Myers. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us on the Old Fashioned Health Network. Good health inside and out.